Hey, what's going on, guys? Kalamazi here, and this evening I have a shortish video to talk to you all a little bit about Warlock tuning changes that were announced earlier this evening. Now, some of them came in the form of hotfixes, and some were announced they're going to be happening on the 13th, which is Tuesday, reset day, when the raid opens. So we'll get into that in a little bit here. Mostly like survivability kind of changes, but there's a big one for Demonology. Soulburn has been changed. We'll get into that, talk about what it changed rotationally, all that kind of stuff. And I guess, yeah, just recap that. Now, outside of these changes, I don't really expect many more to come until after the race world first, or at least like the first week or so the raid is over. Blizzard is indeed releasing normal, heroic, and mythic at the same time. You can see my excitement with that. I am excited for it, but I would prefer it the other way. Regardless, though, it is all coming out this coming Tuesday. To talk more about that, I am also heading out to California to cast the Liquid Race World first. I leave in like 24-ish hours. So I plan on getting some videos out to you guys while I'm out there. I guess I'm queued up, ready to go. The raid review video should be coming out, I would assume, in the next 48 hours or so, talking about each boss, what like specs can be good on it, different talents and things like that, and we'll go from there. So, all that being said, any weak course, add-ons, or profiles in the video, links to my Twitch and Discord down below, you can get them up for free. Social media / Patreon links up here if you want to support on social media or Patreon. With that being said, let's just jump right into the video, starting off with some of the, I guess, survivability changes. Alright, so getting into the more survivability, based class tuning that hit this evening. So, three things here. There was a change last week that came in. I believe it nerfed Soul Leech's, passive healing from damage dealt from 6 to 3. I believe that was the case. It does indeed sort of affect Soul Tap in a bit of a negative way if you're playing Affliction, but Soul Tap, for the most part, has been pretty hit or miss when it comes to a lot of content. I feel like I can get pretty good value out of it, Mythic Plus and things like that, but raid fights, it sort of depends on how damage is being dealt. On fights like Taros with a lot of incoming raid damage, it was like consistent damage, it was pretty hard to get a Soul Tap or two off. Other fights like, let's say, Aranog, the first boss, it felt pretty easy, so it's sort of hit or miss in the first place. I've sort of written off Soul Tap on some of the fights, just if you can get value, great. You still tap the 5 shards for the bosses pulled, but for the most part, Soul Tap's sort of in a weird spot, and the Soul Leech nerfs are coming into it over and over and over, don't really help. Either way, the 3 ones today. So, number 1, Fell Synergy, which I believe is right here, now causes Soul Leech to heal you for 15% of the absorption it grants. Was 25. So, not much to really explain here. Soul Leech also heals you for 15% now, and your pet for 50% of the absorption it grants. Just sort of is what it is. A bit of a nerf for the passive healing that it brings. It's still passive healing, not as much as we had. Just sort of is what it is. Warlock's been incredibly tanky. We have been incredible tanks all of alpha, all of beta, and we were nerfed a bit towards the end of beta, but even if, like, when retails hit, the past 2 weeks, we've still been very, very tanky. I soloed raid mechanics in alpha and beta, and we're nerfed from that point, but even if, there's been a lot of points in time, even after launch, where I've taken very little damage comparatively to somebody who nearly dies, or dies to a mechanic. So our tankiness has still been there. Now, Warlock is known for that, but it's been a little excessive, so I'm not totally surprised by these nerfs, but I mean, it is what it is. So, number 2, Soul Leech now grants shields up to 5% of maximum health, was 10%, and this one sort of seems like the biggest one to me. It's just a large overall nerf for Soul Leech. Once again, like, we're still incredibly tanky. Like, you still have an Ending Resolve baseline. You still have 45-second Dark Pack. You still have Hollow Terror. You still have Fell Armor. You still have Demon Skin. You still have stamina increasing effects. You still have Profane Bargain if you want it, which half is not even taking anymore. You have Soul Link. You still have this, albeit a little nerfed. You still have Sweet Souls. You still have Hellstone effects if you want it. We're still very, very tanky and very, very defensive-y. We have very good defensives. So, I mean, but this one does sort of hurt a decent bit, I feel like, are the biggest one out of all these. Number 3, Demon Skin now increases Soul Leech's absorption up to 10% of maximum health, was 15. So, yeah, just sort of is what it is. Not much you're going to do. Where's Demon Skin at? I think it's over here. Yeah, there you go. Just sort of is what it is. Yeah, just more defensive nerfs. So, I mean, Warlock's still incredibly tanky, and we still probably are the tankiest range. Like, outside of classes that have immunities, like Mage with Ice Block, we still have 45-second Dark Pact, or just like less health on Dark Pact with Ichor of Devils, probably playing Frequent Donor. You have a large Ending Resolve and Strength of Will, or a shorter one in Dark Accord. Still having Demon Skin, still having Fell Armor, still having Profane Bargain if you want it. Soul Link is universal for every spec. You still have Fell Synergy. This is what happens when 9/10 of your tree is defensives and or utility. You are walking tank. So I expected these nerfs to come for the most part. I'm not incredibly surprised. Sort of sucks, but honestly, like, we're just so tanky. It'll make a bit of a difference, but at the same time, does it really matter? To me, it doesn't really matter a whole lot. So the big change today, though, let me make sure I'm playing the right build here. As Demonology, I am for the most part. Cool. So the big change today. Soulburn now lasts 20 seconds and can no longer be canceled. So Blizzard caught on to the cancel aura macro, which we were using every 6 seconds, so Soulburn 3 times in Nether Portal, and they broke that. Spells affected by Soulburn are now also correctly highlighted. So also I will Soulburn right here. Pop this. It highlights Gateway, Drain Life, Circle. It would highlight other effects too if I have my bars. But you can see there's a 20-second duration on Soulburn here. I'll hit my cancel aura macro. Doesn't do anything. So they broke the ability to cancel aura Soulburn. Now, Blizzard has tried to fix Soulburn with Nether Portal. It's odd to me. Like, I mean this in the nicest way possible. I don't know why they make their lives harder than they need to be. They've tried to fix Soulburn with Nether Portal like 4 times. And Nether Portal is in an odd... Listen, man, everyone's said a million times about, like, you know, this is a different subject on its own, but, like, changing Nether Portal to just be per shard spent and not whenever you consume soul shards. You probably cast Soulburn regardless, but I mean, Portal still remains in the form of, like, okay, we have to spend... It's whenever you spend soul shards. So, like, each iteration of spending shards grants you a pet. So whether you can't just go 3 shard handy gul'dan for 3 pets. It has to be 1 shard handy gul'dan, 1 shard handy gul'dan for each individual pet. Why that's still a thing, I have literally 0 idea. But the problem with this Soulburn change, like, it fixes most of the issues. You can't really spam Soulburn a whole lot. Now you still can do certain things, right? Like I'll put a soul well down. So I'll Soulburn. So Soulburn empowers Demonic Circle Teleport, Demonic Gateway, Drain Life, Health Funnel, and Health Stone, right? So I'll put a circle down right here. So Soulburn, right? I hit it. They're all empowered. Now, if I pop Demonic Circle here, watch this buff circle. It removes the buff, and now this is a different buff. I can Soulburn again here. Now, if I Drain Life, I can Soulburn again in 1 second. Soulburn again. Now, you're probably not going to be casting Demonic Circles and Drain Lives because they are on the GCD. And the big thing about Soulburn is that it was a shard-consuming spell that was instant cast off the GCD, and casting Drain Life or Demonic Circle ends up queuing a GCD. However, can I clear this buff out? Sure. However, there is an ability that we have that is not on the GCD that is empowered by Soulburn. Let's Soulburn. Just cancel this. We wait. Let's Soulburn. Let's pop a Hellstone. Well, let me turn on Burning Rush. Pop a Hellstone now. It's gone. Soulburn again. So popping a Hellstone or, you know, Healing Pot is not on the GCD, thankfully. So the only issue with this change or this fix is that you can consume a Hellstone to consume a charge of Soulburn and theoretically Soulburn twice in your Nether Portal. Now, like I said, you could pop a Circle or a Drain Life or a Gateway. They're all in the GCD besides that. It doesn't matter. So I don't think you'll want to do any of those, but Soulburning into a Hellstone and Soulburning again 6 seconds later can be a thing. I don't think it's going to be a thing you do in prog. If you're crazy to do it in prog because Hellstones are much more relevant. In parsing settings, could be a thing. 1 more pet is not a huge deal, but I mean, with Nurse with Volition, it can be 2 pets. So the best way to fix this, it's very simple. Just make Soulburn a 20-second cooldown. It's not like it was initially just no cooldown off the GCD. They ended up putting it on the GCD. It was bad. Took it off the GCD. They ended up making it a 6-second cooldown, which you can just cancel aura. Now they made it a 20-second duration of a buff. You can't cancel aura it, but you can still spam Hellstones. Like, the simplest solution, just make it a 20-second cooldown. That's all you gotta do. It fixes all this rigmarole of trying to just Hellstone and Health Pot and cast circles and cancel aura. Just make it a 20-second cooldown. It's almost all the problems, but we gotta make life hard. But either way, besides that, I mean, so what it means is that you're gonna get basically 1 Soulburn in your Nether Portal instead of 3. So the rotation in the demo video that I put out, I'll make a comment saying just Soulburn after the portal. That's that. I'm not remaking the video. No shot. But I assume the change was coming before the race happened. Just unfortunately it happened 3 days beforehand, but it is what it is. It is a bit of a DPS loss. We're losing minimum 2 pets in our portal, a max of 4 with Nurse Rules Volition, which also means we're losing a minimum of 2 Pit Lord stacks. maybe like one, depending on like how many spells you can squeeze in, but like you're losing Pit Lord stacks, you're losing pets, and you're losing RNG from this, which can also mean more stacks in your Pit Lord. So it is a nerf. Destro and Demo are relatively close in single target in the first place, so it's not a huge deal either way. To be fair, this portal build playing Fel Covenant and Power Siphon is pretty tedious and finicky either way. But it is a nerf, is what it is. I wish it would have happened before Friday, or essentially Saturday now, but you know, sort of expected. But yeah, so basically as far as it goes, you'll follow a similar opener that you would whether you're playing Power Siphon or not, or have procs or not. Just cast your portal and just go Soulburn, and you're done. If you want a Hellstone and Soulburn again, go for it, but you're wasting a Hellstone in a progression setting and for one pet. So that's the TLDR. It's unfortunate. We lost some damage, but you no longer need a macro for Soulburn. You can get rid of that and just have the actual baseline talent on your bar. So that's a cool pit lord right there with 2 stacks on him. Very nice. No Soulburn macro needed anymore. Just one Soulburn in your portal basically afterwards. And to be fair, you can probably pop it at any point in your portal. You don't have to pop it right after the portal spawns, but up to you either way. With a 20-second cooldown on it, essentially, you're not getting more than one because portal lasts 15. Soulburn lasts 20, and I don't think casting Drain Life or Demonic Circle to clear the buff and Soulburn again is really worth it because you're still incurring a GCD. So TLDR, 1 Soulburn in Portal, and yeah. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. That about wraps it up. Hopefully it wasn't too long. Not a whole lot of changes this week going into the raid opening. I'm surprised that Affliction didn't get buffed. I was thinking that it would. Its AoE is really good. Its single target is not very good, but I guess the problem also is if you buff the single target, it's already good in AoE, so how do you really handle that? But I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I'm a little surprised that there wasn't other class tuning to just other classes in general. Some specs and classes are going to be pretty wild in this race, and I would assume with them saying these changes are coming on the 13th, that this is the final change that we're getting, and that's that. But we'll go from there. So either way, even with the nerfs coming into Demo and with Destro being in a pretty good spot, I think Warlock looks good in the raid. Demo's still good in Plus, obviously. You'll still play Portal in like Prio settings and probably Guillotine and AoE, and that's mostly the gist of it. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions about the changes, put them down below in the comment section. I'll be sure to get back to you. Once again, any weak ORS add-ons or profiles you saw, links down below to my Twitch and Discord to get off for free. Exclamation mark WA either. And yeah, they are there for you guys. And I also want to give one huge shout out to my patrons for in the video. Guys, thank you for all supporting Patreon a million times. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys, for all the support. If you're looking at supporting on Patreon, should be a link up here, as well as down below in the video description. And yeah, once again, dudes, I am heading out to California in a day or so to cast the Race World First for Liquid. So streams might be a bit lesser while I'm out there. I'll be streaming maybe a little bit if I can, depending on what's going on. I got a few videos queued up. The raid review video should be coming out in a day or so, a couple days, depending when you watch this. And yeah, that's that. Hope you guys have been enjoying Dragonflight. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you all again soon on stream. Peace.